Hi, welcome in to Running Miles with CHD. I'm your host and coach, Josh. Thanks for joining in today. Today, I wanted to talk to you about Redlight and my injury of Achilles Tendonitis. Before we get started, just would like to read you a motivational speech. I wanted to talk to you today about coming over adversity. Life is not a straight path. It is filled with twists and turns and unexpected hurdles. We all face challenges that test our strength, resilience, and determination. But it is in these moments of struggle that we discover our true selves, the power that lies within us. Think back to a time when you faced a difficult situation. Perhaps it was personal loss, a health challenge, or a setback in your career. In these moments, it may have felt like all hope was lost. But here we are today. You pushed through, you rose above the difficulties, and emerged stronger than before. Adversity is not just an obstacle, it's an opportunity for growth. Each challenge we face teaches us valuable lessons. We learn about persistence, courage, and the importance of hope, of support from those around us. Remember that you are not alone in your struggles. We are all in this together, walking our unique paths and facing our own battles as we navigate through life's uncertainties. Let us embrace our challenges. Let us transform our pain into purpose. Let us use our experiences to inspire others. When we overcome adversity, we become beacons of hope for those who are still struggling. Together, we can create a ripple effect of strength and resilience in our community. So as you go forward from this moment, remember that you propose the strength to overcome any challenge. Keep pushing forward. Keep believing in yourself. Embrace the journey and know that on the other side of adversity lies the person you were meant to be. Thank you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Redlight, right? Therapy, and talk about the injury that I have and that I've been dealing with all week, which is just learning a lot about this injury, as it's the first time I have ever had it, Achilles Tendonitis. So, I did want to say before we get started that I'm not a physical therapist and not a doctor. So I'm just telling you what I've done and what's helped and some of the stuff that I've learned just by AI and then YouTubing it and just trying to take a deep dive into Achilles tendonitis with sports athletes, if that makes sense. I think there is a difference between having it for a year or two and trying to overcome that versus it being new and overcoming that. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about because it's the first time I've ever had this injury, and then what I'm doing to overcome it. Obviously, this is not a recommendation. It's just what I'm doing, and I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm just researching it, trying to learn more about it, and then putting what I learned into action to have the best output that I could, so I can still continue my race if that's possible. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. So usually I start about my long run in the episodes, but so I'll do that. I did go on a long run, but it wasn't that long. It was only 13 miles because I only had 3 hours. And once again, it was on the trail, which I'll talk to you about that later when we're going over the injury. But anyways, it was all flat, which was good. I still wore the same shoes. I didn't have a pad in the back of my shoe, and I had about a 1 to 2 pain in the foot pretty much the whole time. It never got worse, but it never got better. During the run, anyways, but after the run, I could barely walk, which was really discouraging. A lot of stress was coming into my body because I started thinking about bad thoughts. Let's see. Yeah, I could barely walk, but not barely walk. I'd say like I could walk, but I could feel the pain when I walked. So, better than last week. Okay. And then I kind of rested the leg, didn't do anything else with it, then woke up the next day, which was Saturday. I'm trying to do the back-to-back, so I got all ready, and I was going to go out there. It was feeling good, I had no pain in it when I woke up. Walked down the stairs, got strapped up, got all my gear together, was about to go out the door, and then I started feeling some pain. So I decided to just not go on the run, which might have been a smart move, because if I'm already feeling a level 2 pain and I'm just walking, right, and I don't think I should go on the run, because the course that I usually run has lots of hills and they're pretty steep, so definitely not going to be good for my tendonitis. So at that point, I just went into the garage and did a workout, and try to do tendonitis strength, and just all around do a workout for my whole body, like whole body workout for 30 minutes. And I couldn't hop on it, and I could only do calf raises with both of my legs on the ground. And that was very discouraging, because I'll talk about previous week, and then we'll come back to this start. Probably should have talked about that first. So first day of tendonitis, I didn't know what I had, I had to start researching it. I bought a boot. First thing that came to my mind was rest, and just sit down, do nothing, and just rest. Maybe put it in a boot, and walk around with a boot for a week, and then maybe it's healed. That's what I was thinking. Anyways, when you take a deeper dive into this stuff, it looks like this is something that you don't want to rest, and you want to strengthen it. You want to make it stronger. You want to challenge it, and everybody, it seems like everybody has their unique adaptations to this injury. So, you know, not everybody's going to have the same effects on it and stuff like that. So, anyways, so my recovery, I saw improvements day to day, which was really positive. If you don't see improvements every day, then I'm sure it can get negative, and you definitely want to start thinking positive thoughts, because your stress can have just as much effect on your tendon as the exercises do. So you definitely want to try to meditate and just relax and try to be stress-free. And I'll leave some stuff in the show notes about meditation and Redlight and some of the YouTube videos that I've watched on YouTube, and they'll all be in the show notes if you want to check that out for you guys. Okay, and hopefully that can help you recover. I can't see into the future, so I don't know if I'll be able to finish this race or not. You know, it's really far out. You know, 100 miles, but I don't know. I'm still trying to have visions of finishing the race, have the medal in my hand, and just trying to go through visualizing. I'm going through the mileage. So just trying to get my mind right, trying to have positive thoughts, and trying to overcome the tendonitis if it's possible. Right? It is possible. So let's see. So first day I could walk barely. I was limping, and I had a pain. I felt pain just by walking. And I didn't do any exercises. I didn't know about the exercises. I didn't get that far into the research at that point. But I did schedule a doctor's appointment. So, just with an ankle doctor. Maybe, I think, advice to you guys is search out a sports therapist, and maybe they would have better knowledge of your injury and how to treat it. I felt like going to the doctor. I went back to like the 1990s or something. Like, he just printed me out this old school stretching guide. Then recommended all this laser surgery stuff, and try to put me in a boot. And let's see. I mean, it was just, I don't know if I have awareness or what, but it was like, I went back to the 1990s, man. There was no innovation. There was no innovation. There was no, like, new knowledge. It was old. It was like old stuff that he was trying to get me to do. So, and I had a little bit of knowledge at that point, because I went to the doctor the third day that I had the injury. So at that point I was researching the heck out of this, and I knew maybe a lot. Probably not more than him, you know, because he's a doctor, but it just seemed like everything he told me was like old school, I guess, if that makes sense to anybody. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody or anything like that. I'm just saying that's just what it felt like. So anyways, so at that point, I haven't, okay, so let's go back. So each day I'm improving, and I got the x-ray scan from the doctor. He said everything looked good, no torn tendons, no rupture, nothing like that. So didn't schedule an MRI or anything like that. Said I looked good. I just irritated the tendon. So that was great news, very encouraging. If you do go see a foot and ankle doctor, they're going to be able to do the x-ray, and you can, get that kind of positive information or negative information if you go see those doctors. A physical therapist, I'd imagine they have an x-ray machines in their office too, but you can call and double check that before you go in, and make sure they take your insurance or whatnot. So anyways, so that was good. So came back, I think that was Tuesday. At that point I knew a workout routine that I wanted to do, so I started to do the calf raises. Then the next day I was able to do, so the first day I felt the pain doing the 2 feet together on the calf raises, and then sitting down I would have the dumbbells on my knees and lifting my toes up and down. And you do this really slowly, guys. You do this really slowly. And I would do that, and I felt the pain. You don't want to feel too much pain, but you got to push through the pain, so they say on some of the videos I watch. That's what I did. I tried to work out 2 times a day on the tendonitis treatment, and don't go on runs. I just been lifting weights. Anyways, each day I progressed, which was very positive. Each day so the next day I was able to do 1 foot on each leg, very slowly, the minimum pain, we're in pain, 2, 3, and then I up my weight when I'm sitting down on the bench doing my toe raises. Not really sure what the exercise is called, so sorry about that. Toe raises, and then with the dumbbells on my knees, just up the weight. I think I was doing 25s on each leg at that point. And then I think the next day was Wednesday. Maybe it was Thursday. Anyways, then I started to add. The next day improved on that day, so I was able to do. I was able to hold a dumbbell while I did my feet up and down really slowly. Do dumbbells. I was up to 40 pounds, and it was easy, no pain. Could have been Wednesday or Thursday, I forget. But then I started adding in the hops, hopping on 2 feet. I think that was probably on Wednesday. Then I added that into the program that I was doing, that I kind of just made up myself from the research that I did. And then I think Thursday, then I was doing the weight, just up the weight. I think I started with like a 20, and then I upped it to a 35, and then did more hops. But this time, instead of 2 legs on the hop, I just did the 1 leg on the hop and back to forth, and did 20 hops or 30 hops. And I was feeling good. And so on Friday, before I went on my long run, I got up in the morning, did another workout, which may be not a good idea, but anyways, did another workout. Then I went on the long run in the afternoon, and 13 miles on flat. So I thought, okay, flats could be good, but then there's a double knife there, if you would. I went on the trail instead of the road, which in some of my research it says that if what you're running on is really soft, it's going to irritate the tendonitis. And I didn't have I didn't change shoes, and I also didn't have a heel. And the other problem I face with this injury with the tendonitis is that I like to go barefooted. So that's another struggle. You know, I try to keep my foot strong, so I want to go barefooted. But you're supposed to I guess, rest it at least. And then, so maybe you should be walking around in your shoes if you have a drop that's 10 millimeters or 12 millimeters, right? So, in the shoes. So, anyways, I'm going to get it today, ordered an insole just for the heel, and we'll see if that helps at all. But I irritated it after the run, which was very depressing. But I tried to think of positive thoughts and try to de-stress the body from that negativity. And let's see. This morning, was able to do some weights. Was able to do 20 pounds with one leg, and was able to hop with no pain. So with one leg. So that's really encouraging. So maybe I'll be able to go on a 5-mile run, maybe on Wednesday. So that's kind of like the program that I'm on right now, and hopefully it can just go away. We'll see what happens when I put this insult in, or if I have to buy a new shoe. Hopefully I won't. They're so expensive. Some other stuff that I've done to my shoe. My poor shoes. But they're going to be thrown away anyway. So it's kind of like, I don't care about my shoes really that much. And, you know, once you start racking up this mileage, I think in August it was like a lot of mileage. So your shoe, you know, you could be throwing away a pair of shoes every month or so. Or, you know, you run through the shoe every month or every 2 months when you start racking up these higher mileages. So, anyways, my shoe is the 10, or no, I have the 880 New Balance. So it was it's kind of 8 millimeter drop. So it's kind of like in the middle of the pack, but it's not a 4, but it's not a 12. So it's kind of like almost in the middle. And then, anyways, they have an ankle. They have a high ankle on them, like heel. So cushion thing that could be pressing into my tendonitis, that could irritate it. And if that was the case, so I just cut that off of the shoe. I also cut a little bit of the tongue because it would be pressing into my my front of the ankle, and that would irritate the front of my ankle. So I cut off the tongue a little bit. I cut off the back of the shoe, and I'm just customizing the shoe, I guess. But you gotta do what you gotta do to have a good run, I guess. And then, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And probably update you next week on the tendonitis and how it's going. And if I have, hopefully I'll have some good positive feedback of it healing. So one of the biggest problems with tendonitis is blood flow. It says you don't get much blood flow to that area of the ankle. So, well, how do you get the blood flowing in the body? It's by working out. So, definitely try to work out 2 times a week. That can get the blood moving through the body, and hopefully you can get some blood to the ankle part, and help it heal faster. So, that's definitely probably what you want to do is work out so you can get the blood flowing, the blood moving, and heat up, right? There's all this stuff about taking ibuprofen and icing it. For me, I've decided, and this is just me, I've decided not to ice it, and I've decided not to take ibuprofen. And that's just me. You don't have to do that. Definitely talk to a physical therapist. I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, so it can be documented. So, anyways, yeah, so I don't ice it, and I don't take ibuprofen. To me, it doesn't seem like it's swollen or anything. And I don't have a bump on the back, if that makes sense. So, yeah. I can touch it. I can push on it, and there's no difference in feeling. And those are kind of the symptoms I have. So, but it feels like a conveyor belt. Like, if I could explain it to you, like when you're doing your heel raises, or when you're walking upstairs, or if you're walking slowly, like before, not now. Well, sometimes during the workouts you feel it. This workout I wasn't able to feel this effect, but previously I would feel like a conveyor belt, like I just felt my muscle going up and down, but it would be like little bumps, like it would go up and down like little tiny bumps. And if you have the tendonitis, Achilles Tendonitis, then you know what I'm talking about, I guess. Or maybe it feels different to you. I don't know. So anyways, some helpful advice that I could give to you would be think positive, and you need to maybe not sit and work out. Don't just sit at home and do nothing. Continue to work out. You could always go on walks if you can't run, and go on an hour walk, and just visualize running. Maybe you could do that. Some advice that I found on the internet was, you might want to change your shoes and get a 10 millimeter drop or 12 millimeter drop shoe. You can also get a heel cushion for your shoe. I'm going to try that. You want to look for a cushion heel shoe. So if it's really tough on the back of your shoe, then you could irritate the tendon. So if you have a more cushion on the back of the shoe, the 880 has a lot of cushion on the back, which is nice. Fortunate of that. And then if you squeeze it, you squeeze the heel, does it move? Is it soft? Right? Those things, if it's hard, it's going to irritate the tendon. So look at your shoes. And then the lower heel to the back of the heel, like how far does the heel of the back of the shoe go up, right? And on the 880, it goes up a lot. So I just cut it off. I cut off the back of the heel because it went way too high. It went all the way up to the mid. I have the mid of the Achilles Tendonitis. I have the mid of it, you know. So those things, and hopefully those things can help me get back to running faster. So those are some tips that I learned online. I'll also leave, once again, in the show notes some of the stuff that I've been watching and the name of the videos and stuff, and hopefully that can help you guys. So I'm gonna move on from this, and we'll talk about Redlight. So Redlight, I got a Redlight at the start of this whole thing, and been using it on my feet, and now I use it on my calves and my attendant, and kind of warms it up. You know, before I did the Redlight, had no idea about this Redlight thing, and definitely skeptical of the whole thing. You know, Redlight, that doesn't even make sense. That's like some kind of craziness, right? Redlight, how red light gonna do nothing? Like, it's a waste of time, just a gimmick. Yeah, definitely those are the kinds of thoughts I had about it. But I was intrigued, and you never know, you know, a new experience until you have the new experience. Like, you know, doing something new opens up your mind, right, to new possibilities. So yeah, so I wanted to give it a try, and when I bought it, it's about $100. I don't know if they've gone up or not. I haven't had to buy a new one. So, but mine says that it's 400 watts, so it's kind of weaker. If you think about Redlight, think about it this way. It's like the higher the wattage, the more powerful it will be, and the less time you'll have to be under it. And the closer that you are to it, the less time you need to be under it, okay? So if I could explain it to you, if you had 2,000 watts of Redlight, 2,000 watts, right? And there's all these different numbers with the Redlights as well. But we won't go there yet. We'll talk about this. So if you got 2,000 watts, right? And then you have a machine that has 100 watts, right? And they're at the same distance. Then to get the same effect, you could be under the light for 5 minutes with the 2,000 watts. Okay, and it got great effect on your body. Okay, but then you have 100 watts and you have it the same distance as the 2,000 watts. Okay, then you might have to get the same effect. You might have to lay there for 2 hours. Does that make sense? Good. So that's kind of like the difference with it, right? The higher the wattage, the more effect that it could be. Now, the difference is going to be, let's keep this analogy going. If you have the 2,000 watts, okay, and you're laying on a table and it's just right over you, okay? Let's say it's 2 feet away from you, so 24 inches, okay? We're going to use inches because I'm from America. So, we're doing inches, so 24 inches away from you, and it's doing your whole body, right? But if you take that 100 watt Redlight machine and you put it like, let's say, really close to your body, okay? Probably 2-3 inches away. Then it could almost have the same effect, right? Are you not going to have to do the 2 hours? Maybe you just have to do 10 minutes. So the closer the Redlight is to your skin, the more powerful it's going to be, and then you won't have to sit there as long for the same effect. So anyways, I hope that kind of makes sense. And I've been doing the red light on the tendonitis as well. Probably 2 times a day on that. So, does red light work? I would like to say it works. You know, I haven't had any foot injuries during this besides the Achilles Tendonitis, but usually I get a bruise on the top of my foot when I run. Especially this long miles. But I haven't got that one, which was great. You know, I would just do the front of my feet. I would never do the back of my ankle. So I never had the red light on the back of my ankle. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could work. You know, I definitely feel it heating up the area for sure. It's like it almost could be like a heating pad as well, because it surely heats up that area of the muscle wherever you put the red light on. So it definitely gets hot for sure. And you can feel it. And you can feel when you do too much, because it makes the muscles kind of sore as well. So you want to be careful not to overdo it for sure. That I think it can help for sure. I think it's something that you might want to look into if you never had a red light before. You know, I feel like my 400 watt machine does really well. You know, if you have the money, go for something with more watts. It's going to be quicker. It's going to be bigger. And you'll be able to do more parts of the body if you get a bigger one for sure. So, I'd say try it. I'd say give it a try and see if that helps your training at all. You know, I think it's a combination of everything. So just doing the foot exercises every morning, the red light therapy, and then nutrition plays a big role, I think. So with injuries and stuff. But yeah. So the red light I have is it says it's 660 nm and 850 nm, and it's supposed to help with reducing pain and all sorts of stuff. But you know, we'll see how my progression is this week, and I'll update you next week on that. Yeah, I'll leave in the show notes some information that I came across, some good videos that I've been doing on this therapy with the tendonitis. Before I leave you guys, I did want to say that I'm still eating whole foods, which could have an impact on my recovery. I don't drink alcohol, and I don't smoke or vape. So, you know, and then I try to de-stress with some meditation. So definitely trying my best to overcome this injury and just keeping a positive mindset. I will have a episode on whole foods, but been trying to have like a 4-hour window. That way my body can try to repair itself instead of digesting food. So usually I have like an 8 hour window when I eat, and then I the rest of the time I'm not eating, but this last week I buckled down and did about a 4-window eating, and the rest was fasting. I'm not sure if that helped improve the injury or not, because just kind of documented of what I've done to help my own injury. So I do think nutrition takes a part. So just kind of eat the whole foods. And when I say that, I try to eat like 30 whole foods per week. And a whole food is something that grows out of the ground, something that comes from a tree, right? It's something that's not man-made, something that's not processed, right? But even whole foods can be processed, which is very confusing, I know. When it's laced with, like when you put whole food in a can and you put salt with it, then that can be considered processed. But it's still whole food, right? I'd say it's still a lot healthier than a ultra-processed food or something like that. So if you're getting corn or something from a can that's filled with water and salt, that's processed, but it's still pretty good for you, I would say, but I'd talk to you that on another episode. But yeah, just doing the whole food diet, which is a range of a lot of different stuff. It's not keto, even though it's really low to keto. I'm having probably about 60 to 70 grams of carbohydrates per day, but no added sugar, if that makes sense. Just the greens that I eat and the fruit that I eat, the berries, the blueberries, the blackberries, the raspberries, and then Parnaramian, and just some variations of fruit. But I guess it all kinds of adds up. So, but anywho, yeah, so just wanted to leave you that. Nutrition can play a role with you becoming your injury getting better. So you also want to double down on your nutrition, and before you go to McDonald's or you go just eat whatever, try to think, is this going to help my my injury? So with that being said, you can always get in touch with me at runningmileschd@gmail.com, and we can connect. And I appreciate you listening. Have a great day.